These are it right here. These are going to be 10 fragrance cheat codes that you can wear and that you can utilize to stand out from everyone else around you. Because here's the deal with these. These fragrances are essentially like insider knowledge. Most guys out there who are going around and going into the department stores and buying the first thing that they see aren't actually going to be really seeing too many of these. And oftentimes if they do end up seeing them on the shelf and they happen to smell them, generally they skip past them, which means there's a big gap of people who are just not wearing these, and that's where you come into play. So if you want to stand out, you want to smell different, but you still want to smell really, really good, well above average, and get some amazing compliments, this is going to be the perfect video and list for you. I do videos like this all the time. Every day I put one out. So if you want to get subscribed to see these in your news feed, you can do so. I also have a mailing list you can sign up to. If you're on the hunt for some of the best fragrance deals that you can find, you're going to want to get on that list. Anything from rare, discontinued, and hard to find things, or just to really good deals. Anytime something comes up, I send out an email. It's completely free to sign up and you can unsubscribe at any time. And I will drop links to these down below for you as well if you do have any interest in picking these up. Those links will take you directly to discounters where you can get them at a price below retail. Let's get it started with Paco Rabanne Invictus Victory. So they just came out with Victory Elixir. Fantastic. That one might be one of the better Invictus releases that we've seen so far. One issue with that right now is that it's a little bit hard to get here in the US. But Victory is one you can get pretty much at any major discounter and any major retailer as well if you wanted to go that direction. But I recommend you just buy it at a discounter and save yourself some money. That opening smells amazing. This is all about the vanilla, the tonka, some amber in here, a little bit of this kind of chocolatey, dusty cacao, almost patchouli smell. So it's a little bit gourmand, but it smells great. And this is one of those scents where each time I revisit it, I like it more and I discover different little nuances about it that I didn't previously pick up on. Now, I'm not saying this is a niche quality scent and that it's super unique and it's, top tier in terms of being just groundbreaking, right? It's not to that level, don't get me wrong. And remember, this is still a Paco Rabanne. Their main focus is making money. And so this is still going to have that mass appeal, but it's much sweeter. It's much dustier, much more powdery than what a lot of guys out there are typically going to be used to. They're still going to be gravitating towards the freshies and the aquatics and the blues, the sauvages and everything like that. This is something that will set you apart from the crowd and you're going to smell amazing. Now this next one is fresh. So if you are generally going to be gravitating towards the fresher genre and you just find more versatility and more enjoyment out of them, but you still want to smell different and stand apart from the crowd, this is going to be for you. And let's face it, a lot of times that can be a hard thing to accomplish. Having something that is fresh and very versatile and very wearable, but also still smelling different and not just the run-of-the-mill type of thing. But this has solved that issue for us. Dior Homme Sport. This is the 2021 edition right here. So essentially the newest Dior Homme Sport. Last one we got was 2017. They took their time on this, but it turned out great and it was worth the wait. It's got lemon, bergamot, aldehydes. There's some elemi in here as well. So it's airy, kind of ozonic, aldehydic, obviously. Peppery, but also nice and citrusy off the top as well. Smells really, really well done. Going into it, I wasn't expecting a ton out of it. It's essentially, it's a sports scent, right? And you can only expect so much out of these. But this one exceeded those expectations that I had in my head, going into it, which really shocked me. This has a little bit more of an upscale, classy, rich and mature smell to it compared to all of the previous versions of the sport scents in the Dior Homme line. And for that matter, just compared to a lot of other fresher, citrus, kind of airy based scents on the market in general, designer and niche. This one really goes in the direction of smelling more classy and upscale. And so I think that is a market that hasn't been explored as much when it comes to freshies like this or fresh-inspired scents, but this one does it great. Next up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisee. So, everyone knows the Eau de Parfum. The new Reserve Privé is fantastic. Eau de Toilette Intense is also great. Even the original 2017, it's got iris and pear. It's a little bit fresher and kind of fruity. They're all really, really good. This line is continuing to grow rapidly, and of course, the newest Gentleman Society, right? But this is one that I do feel like is underutilized somewhat. I mean, all of those others that I just mentioned generally get talked about and brought up more than this one does, which is kind of interesting because this one holds a lot of value. Now, this one does have that signature iris accord, but it's also cushioned by a lot of sandalwood, cedar wood as well, just a couple varieties of wood, some pepper in here, and cacao, kind of a chocolatey smell. So, you know, it's a different approach on this DNA, sandalwood focused. It's still sweet, but there's some fresh kind of balance out of it. Some more focus on woods rather than, you know, a vanilla or something like in just the eau de parfum, the regular one there. And so it kind of just bridges the gap between the eau de parfum sweet one and then kind of a fresher, more lighter, woodier variety of scent. The eau de toilette intense focuses a lot on woods as well, cypress and that sort of thing, kind of woods and aromatics. This kind of sits right in the middle. It's got some of that, but it has some of that sweetness. And I think this is still one of the better ones in the line. And again, this is another one where each time I go back to it and smell it, I like it more and more for whatever reason. You know, this does bring a lot more to the table than you might expect, and it is worth a try. Next up, Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum version. It's got musk, some cedar wood in here, a good dose of cedar wood. There's also going to be some vetiver, and it's kind of known for those three notes basically, and same with the rest of the line. They're all about the musk and the woods, most notably the musk and vetiver. The cedar wood plays a pretty heavy role also. So it's woody, it's clean, it's fresh, but it kind of has this fresh washed clothes type of linen smell coming from the variety of musk that they, you know, choose to use in these. It's not an earthy musk or anything like that. It's clean and almost kind of a soapy variety of musk, and it mixes perfectly with the woods in here to give you more of a traditionally inspired masculine scent. You know, this is nothing like, for example, Paco, Rabanne, Invictus, Victory, which is very sweet, quite in the opposite direction. It's cleaner, it's fresher, but it still has some of that upscale classiness going on, I guess kind of in one way or another, similar to the style that Dior Homme Sport 21 does. You know, just going to be a little bit more of a scent to be taken seriously while wearing. And I think that brings a lot of value to the table if you're wearing this to work or to school or whatever. Really nice one that a lot of people just aren't using these days. Up next, Valentino Uomo, the original. Everyone knows Intense. A lot of guys in the community are wearing Intense. Not so much outside of it. You know, you're not going to see that one being used as much, which makes sense. It's another sweet iris scent. This one, on the other hand, it's got a bunch of interesting notes to me. It's got leather. There's some coffee, dark chocolate, hazelnut, gourmand, okay? Gourmand, but with leather. Atomizer is a little bit narrow on these, something to get used to. But that smells beautiful. It smells classy, elegant, refined, gentlemanly. This is a scent that can do no wrong. I mean, it smells so impactful. You know, it just, you smell it and it makes a statement. And if you want a scent that makes a statement and something that people will remember you by and perhaps could be a signature scent style, this is the type of thing that will fill that role because it's very distinct, you know, those notes coming together to create this kind of creamy, nutty, chocolatey coffee smell. It just smells beautiful. And again, most guys out there aren't going to be wearing this, but you will be, and you will smell incredible. Next up, we have Bvlgari Man Wood Neroli. So this one has Neroli, of course, bergamot, orange blossom. There's some cedar wood in here, some musk as well. I love this stuff. It really is well done for the price. It's not overly expensive. Much cheaper than something like Man in Black, of course, in the same line. This one, I think, is usually right around, I don't know, $59, $60. Man in Black is up in the 80s. So this one's a little bit more affordable across the board, much fresher as well, and in some ways more unique because Man in Black smells a lot like Spice Bomb, which has been done quite a bit now. This kind of, to me, reminds me a bit of like a Xerjoff Kobe, you know, so I guess maybe this isn't overly unique either, but it's not cloning another designer scent. I think beyond that Kobe kind of being in a similar vein, it kind of does its own thing here. Very fresh, uplifting, bright, perfect for spring. In fact, when I smell this one, the first thing I think of is springtime, just feeling the sun and the heat on your skin again after months of wintertime and seeing everything come back to life. That's kind of what this one brings, you know, into my mind when I smell it. It's a breath of fresh air. Really well done, citrus, floral scent. that's very versatile, great mass-pleasing scent, great quality, even decent performance out of it as well. One that you should check out. Next up, John Varvatos Dark Rebel Rider. Okay, so this has the removable leather on it. It's actually true. You can unzip this, and then this whole bottle comes out, like no joke. That's something where a lot of brands would cut costs rather, and you wouldn't get that. Look at Diesel Fuel for Life. They've got the zipper, they have the leather, or not leather, but the kind of denim, whatever it is around it. But it's, you know, stitched off. You can't unzip it. That's a cool little detail that, again, a lot of brands, especially these days, aren't just going to do. Now, this one has leather, as you could probably imagine by looking at it. It's got resin. There's oleobanum in here, some kind of smokes going on, some woods. This is kind of the end of an era for John Varvatos. I believe it's been officially discontinued, getting a little bit to the point where it's going to be getting tricky to find on discounters. You can still get it, not horribly priced yet, but it will be soon, and that's a shame because this and the original Dark Rebel and a few others kind of around this time period were some of the best works from the brand, and it's really sad to see them go. I'm sitting here, I'm smelling this now, and I'm a little bit concerned because I don't think I bought any backup bottles of this, which is dumb. So I'm probably going to do that after I'm done shooting this video. So yeah, if you want to get this one, now would be the time. I would imagine it's not going to have too much life left in it, at least in terms of being reasonably priced. It'll probably always be available on eBay, but it'll be $200-300+ Don't pay that. When you can get this one for a good price, it's a great budget scent. You know, it's unique, it's got great quality. The performance has never been great on these, but it makes up for it in that uniqueness and quality category. And so I think this is one where if you want to stand out, you want to make a statement, you want to be a little bit more bold, go for this. Next up, Michael Kors Extreme Sky. So they have this, they have Extreme Speed and Extreme Rush, I think. I think that's those and maybe one more, I can't remember, but they have a whole extreme line, and this is the one that I chose for this video. So this one has cypress, there's some ozonic notes in here, some juniper as well, aromatic quite a bit, a little bit citrusy, not a whole lot, mostly just going to be aromatic, ozonic, kind of fresh, airy, has a real unique texture to it that you don't get every day in a lot of fresher scents, so it kind of separates itself just on that front. Real nice. Smells invigorating and fresh off the opening. Dries down to some woods and some aromatics. It gets more clean, actually a little bit soapy as well. For what it's worth, it does stand out a little bit. It is a bit different. Great quality, great presentation, great atomizer. Decent performance out of this one as well. Great for spring and early summertime. Something that most guys aren't going to be wearing. Up next, we have Polo Double Black. So this one here has kind of an interesting note combination of mango, okay, mango, and then coffee. So yeah, fruity coffee, and then some black pepper in here, just some general woods, pretty standard dry down on this one. But you're getting that kind of coffee, fruity mango off the top. Really, for what it is nice and different. Kind of the coffee accordion here is a little bit dusty and kind of powdery, and you're getting that fruitiness that's kind of subdued, a little bit mild, kind of sweet. Just a unique mixture that you don't smell every day, and for that reason, it makes this one kind of fun to pull off. You know, you smell it, and then it's just like, yeah, this is fun. This is different, you know. It's maybe not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's not going to be up everyone's alley, but for me, I smell that and I go, okay, that's a real nice combo, especially when you get it on your skin and you smell it. Smelling it up in the air is one thing, but actually getting it on and wearing it, it's just a different wearing experience that is actually pretty cool to get from Polo or Ralph Lauren, which generally in terms of their fragrances, they don't push the boundaries too much. But with this one, in some way or another, they kind of did, and I like it. And last up for this one, we have Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana. Now, it's got grapefruit, ozonic notes, violet leaf. You guys know it by now. This and Italian Love, two of the best works that they have put out in the light blue line. Easily the saving grace for the line. And I've said it before, I'll just say it again. Ever since Light Blue O Intense, they've gone downhill. So they peaked with O Intense, and everything after that was lame and just boring and kind of throwaways up until Forever. They released it straight away as an eau de parfum, which was cool to see and something super unique. After that, they came out with Italian Love limited edition. You can still get it, though, very easily for a great price, too. You could go with either one. That one's got more bergamot focus rather than just straight up grapefruit. This is pretty much all grapefruit, minimal bergamot. So actually Italian Love would probably be a little bit more mass pleasing, but this one still brings the uniqueness to the table a little bit more so. But ultimately, this is what you want to go for if you want something refreshing and new from Dolce & Gabbana. I think that's really cool. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrance cheat codes that you can be utilizing and wearing starting today or whenever you order them and get them in the mail, and you can be smelling different in the best way possible. Links will be down below. Deals will also be going out to my mailing list subscribers and my community tab as well. Make sure you check back on the community tab if you don't want to get on the mailing list. But mailing list does take priority. So anytime something really good pops up, it goes out there first. And trust me, guys, often, several times a month, some great things pop up for unbeatable prices and you don't want to miss it. They sell fast, so you want to be checking your inbox often. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.